Today I got to speak with Mikah Taylor, FBA Lions starting point guard.
Mikah Taylor is heading into his senior year at First Baptist Academy, where he has started varsity in each of his first 3 seasons. His sophomore year, he led his team to the state Final Four, and this past season, he led them to the regional championship. Last season, he averaged 15 points and 5 assists per game. He's an elite scorer and facilitator, and I'm excited to share the wisdom he has, both biblically and athletically.
Hi, Mikah.
What's up, Max?
Thanks for taking some time to chat with me today.
Of course, I'm happy to.
Thanks. So, you are the starting point guard, I think, for the FBA Lions,
Yeah.
which is an amazing team so far, and you're playing really great this season.
Yeah.
But can you take us a little bit earlier to when you really started playing basketball more and what made you really fall in love with it?
Yeah, for sure. I started playing when I was 3 years old. So my dad, he played in high school and he got me into it. And when I was young, I didn't love it. I would run out of practices and I kind of hated it. But then, they kind of kept me in it because I knew it was good for me. And by the time I was in, second, third grade, I was spending a lot of time. I was in the gym every day. And, 2 hours turns into 5. And you're like, hey, maybe I really do love this. And my parents always pushed me to keep playing. And I think I fell in love with the competition aspect of it. And it's just I don't know, the difficulty kind of pushed me. I wanted to be better. I wanted to beat people. So I kept playing.
Nice. As the point guard and basically the coach on the court when you play, what's running through your head? Like, how do you stay focused and confident and make the right decisions when you do that?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. A lot of people do put it that way. Is the coach on the floor. I think it's helped me a lot having a coach who was a point guard who played professionally. Um, so he's taught me a lot about poise and just understanding how to lead the team, especially in crucial moments. As far as confidence, I think it just comes back to the work you put in. So it's like if I didn't put in the work, I'm not confident, but I know that I have, and it shows up, and you kind of let it ride from there. And then it's just also knowing, what your team needs from you. Sometimes it's to score, sometimes it's to facilitate, but just to always impact the game as the point guard, you have to make sure everybody's doing their job.
Yeah, definitely. If you could go back to my age, like 6th grade, 12 years old, what would you have done differently, like to get to your point?
Yeah. At that age, like you, I was pretty dedicated and I played hard. Uh, but I think it's hard when you're young to kind of see the scope of it, especially when you have aspirations at playing at the next level. You don't really realize what it takes. And so I wish I had a better frame of just how difficult it was and how much competition there was in the basketball world, because I think it would have fueled me a little bit more to practice a little more, to play a little bit harder um, at that age. So just kind of having a scope for it and realizing this is difficult and it takes a lot of commitment. And then as far as basketball, I wish I had searched for more knowledge from people because I did a lot on my own, but I feel like I could have learned more from other people if I had looked. And especially in the internet era, there's a lot of free resources
Yes.
online. YouTube's full of it.
Definitely. Has basketball taught you anything more about your relationship with Christ and your biblical perspective of life?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's taught me a lot. Basketball, I think I've learned a lot of lessons first in basketball and then in life. And so it feels like it's always been a little bit ahead of it. I would say the biggest takeaway that I've had in my life from basketball in terms of being a Christian is just understanding perseverance. Because in sports are so unpredictable. You deal with injuries, bad games, bad weeks, not playing, and it's just a lot of difficult things mentally, physically. But just understanding perseverance and that there is a reward, the hard work pays off. And I think that really applies to faith as well. Because as I'm getting older, I'm kind of realizing this is a long race and there's a lot to it. And so you have to continue pressing on, and that us Christians are looking for a future reward, which is, heaven and being with Christ. But it takes a lot of perseverance and a lot of faith to get there. And so I've been reading, a lot of James, and that's been hitting me a lot lately. um, you know, how much perseverance it takes and discipline. And I think I learned that first in basketball.
Yes. Since you had a pretty extensive, basketball career, how has it like fought against your faith sometimes, and how have you like responded to that?
Yeah, I think it's playing sports just in general. It's high intensity, you're in the moment, adrenaline's high, emotions are high. And I think those are the times that it's really easy to slip into bad habits. Um, whether it's, using bad language, treating people unkindly in the heat of a moment. And so, I've struggled with being able to compete as hard as I want to, which is hard. And then also understanding, that I also need to keep a rein on my tongue. I need to be poised. So it's taught a lot temperamentally. But I think that's applicable to life too. It's usually, when things are going great, it's easy to be disciplined and to be strong in your faith. But when things are tough, emotions are high, you're tired, you don't have sleep, you're in situations that are tempting, that's when the real challenge is, and that's when it's tough, and that's when, the devil comes to try and get you. And so it's just in those moments, understanding like, all right, there's a bigger picture, I need to refocus. And so in basketball, I think I'm working through that, I'm learning that, and I think it's teaching me good lessons.
Amen. Can you tell us more about some of the difficult challenges you had to face going through as a basketball player?
Yeah, I think when I was younger, it was a lot of just skill challenges and just knowing where I needed to improve. So when I was maybe seventh grade, I like reworked my jump shot. I was a good shooter, but I had issues with it. So I spent that whole summer reworking it. It was seventh or eighth grade year. And I became a lot better shooter, and I've carried that same form and jump shot on till now. And that was a hurdle, and it was like really frustrating at the time because it's like I'm missing shots. I have no range. Uh, but having the bigger picture in mind was helpful, and I'm very glad that I did that because I think having a base, especially like a jump shot, is important.
Definitely.
And then as I've gotten older in high school, so my freshman year, I started varsity, and we had a good team, but I think we needed one more piece. We made it to the Sweet 16, and we lost by a few points to a team that I think we were better than. And I wish that I was ready to be as good as I needed to be at that point and was ready to be a scorer because like I think I averaged like 3 points that year, even though I started every game, right? So I wasn't ready to step into that role as a scorer. And that was a challenge that I wish I was able to overcome, but I think it taught me a lot just about being ready. And I'm thankful for that looking back because I was like, all right, I can't waste this. Like if my team needs me, I got to be there.
Yeah.
But those are just a couple of challenges that I think I've worked through and have been difficult at times, but yeah.
Mhm. You've done great so far on your FBA team, but there's a lot more ahead of you. So, where do you see like God leading you next?
Hmm. That's still an unknown for me. I have my senior year this next year coming up, so it's a big year for me, and I hope I can do well, God willing. And then after that, I'm trying to do my part and work as hard as I can, and wherever that takes me, I'll be content. So hopefully, just leave nothing left to give, and wherever God leads me, I'm happy to go. So God willing, I can play at the next level. But yeah, we'll see.
Okay, thank you. I learned a lot, and I hope you did too.